Let me tell you about the night I realized just how far someone will go to keep control and how 5 dogs and a bit of stubbornness changed everything. If you'd told me a year ago that my biggest enemy would be a middle-aged HOA president armed with a tranquilizer gun, a tote bag marked rescue operation, and the moral certainty of a tornado, I'd have laughed in your face. But here we are. Picture this. It's 2 in the morning. My phone vibrates and I roll over expecting some spam text. Instead, it's my security feed, a shaky night vision shot of Emily Lopez herself, heels swapped for sneakers, picking my front door lock like she's auditioning for Ocean's 11. And for a second, all I could do was stare. This is the woman who fined me for the color of my mailbox. Now she's tiptoeing into my living room with a dart gun and more determination than sense. She never guessed my dogs weren't kenneled that night. 5 German Shepherds, retired K9 partners, just scattered around dozing in silent formation. Within seconds she freezes, and then the barking starts, 5 deep, thunderous barks shaking the whole house. If you're ever curious about the fastest way to regret your life choices, try breaking into a cop's house with 5 working dogs. That night turned our little HOA squabble into legend. But before you decide who's the villain here, let me back up and show you how things got so twisted. I moved to Maplewood Estates for peace, not politics. 20 years on the force, all I wanted was a quiet corner for me and my dogs. Bought myself a brick house on a cul-de-sac, put up a fence, and gave those dogs, the ones who'd dragged me out of fires, found missing kids, even taken a bullet for me, a backyard worthy of retirement. 6 months of bliss. My neighbors were nice enough, waving, bringing cookies, making small talk. Then Emily Lopez got elected HOA president. Picture someone born to supervise. Early 50s, always perfect hair, always a clipboard, always 3 steps ahead in her own mind. You'd hear the click of her heels before you saw her, like a warning shot. Our first real chat was almost pleasant. She smiles this brittle, tight smile and tells me, "Mr. Clark, we need to talk about your dogs." Says they're intimidating. I say, "They're trained, quiet, fenced. You're safe." She doesn't like that answer. Next day I get a notice, excessive animal noise. A $150 fine. I send in paperwork, get the animal control officer to vouch for my dogs, and the fine is dropped, but I get the message. I'm on her radar. After that, it's one thing after another. Fence color not community beige enough. Grass a 1/4 inch too high. That's another violation. She prowls past my property with a phone, snapping photos, peering over my fence like she's part of some suburban KGB. I catch her one morning and joke, "Getting a good angle, Emily?" She bristles. Says she's keeping the community safe. From what I ask. Disciplined dogs and well-kept grass. The fines kept coming, but I stopped caring about the money. It wasn't about that. I started documenting everything, photos, footage, dates. You can't work 2 decades in law enforcement and not build habits like that. But it wasn't until the HOA meeting that I realized just how deep her obsession went. She stands up in front of the whole clubhouse, PowerPoint and all, and puts my house on the screen. Talks about problem properties and dangerous animals. I raise my hand and call her out. Tell everyone my dogs are retired K9s, certified legal quiet as church mice. I look her dead in the eye and say, "You're spreading lies, and my cameras can prove it." The whole room goes quiet. Emily sputters, "You'll regret this." I just smile. I doubt it. After that, everything escalates. Animal control, more letters, anonymous notes taped to my mailbox. I start noticing odd things. My back gate always locked, left open. The camera by the fence glitches for 15 minutes, the only 15 minutes it's ever glitched. When the feed comes back, I catch a shadow slipping away down the alley. My gut tightens. This isn't about barking anymore, it's personal. I reinforce the locks, add more cameras, set up motion sensors. One morning I find a strip of raw meat stuffed between the fence boards. My dogs didn't touch it, but I glove up, bag it, and take it to the vet. Traces of tranquilizers enough to take down a 100-pound dog. That's when I stop playing defense. I bring the report to an old friend at the precinct. "Unless you have her on camera, there's nothing we can do," he says. "But I'll keep an eye out." Emily starts getting bolder. Driving past my house, slowing down, jotting notes. My mailbox goes missing for 2 days, comes back with the HOA emblem stamped across the front. Fresh footprints in the backyard, size 7 women's shoes. I even get a visit from Emily's husband, Frank. Quiet, beaten down man. He apologizes, tells me she's not herself, obsessed is the word he uses, says he's worried. I almost feel sorry for him. And then comes the letter. Remove all canines from your property within 30 days or face legal action. Signed, Emily Lopez. I pour myself a bourbon and stare at the ceiling. She's not just enforcing rules. She's at war with me, with herself, with anyone who reminds her she's not in control. So I do what any stubborn old cop would do. I dig in. A week later, my security system pings me awake at 2:17 a.m. There's Emily Lopez dressed all in black, picking my lock. She steps inside, flashlight in one hand, tranquilizer gun in the other, muttering to herself about rescuing my dogs. What she doesn't know is that my dogs are inside, alert, silent, waiting. Rex growls first, then Bear, then the others fan out. Emily freezes. She tries to whisper, "Easy, puppies, easy," but these aren't puppies, they're soldiers. I watch it all unfold on my phone, her trembling hands, the flashlight shaking, the tranquilizer gun dropping to the floor. When she tries to retreat, the dogs block her path. They don't attack, they don't have to. Their presence is enough. Emily shrinks against the wall, sobbing. I head downstairs, badge in my pocket, adrenaline steady. The scene is almost comical. Emily, the queen of Maplewood, cornered by 5 German shepherds, her rescue plan in shambles. She begs me to call off the dogs. I tell her they're trained, Emily. They know the difference between friend and foe. Sirens cut through the night. I'd already called 911. When the deputies show up, Emily's blubbering about animal abuse rescue missions, anything to deflect blame. But the evidence spills out of her bag: darts, sedatives, fake reports, bolt cutters. I watch as the deputies cuff her, read her rights, and lead her out past the blinking phones and gaping neighbors. Rex barks once as she passes, almost like he's saying, "Not so fast, lady." For the first time in months, I feel a real sense of calm. The war is over, or so I thought. The fallout is swift and messy. The HOA scrambles to hold emergency meetings. Neighbors gossip, trading stories about Emily's leadership. Videos of her break-in go viral. Suddenly, everyone's got a tale: extra fines for trash cans, phantom noise complaints, threats of legal action. But here's the twist. Turns out Emily wasn't just drunk on power. She was siphoning HOA funds, making fake invoices, pocketing thousands while terrorizing the neighborhood. The real reason she targeted me, she thought my cameras had caught her in the act. She wasn't just trying to get rid of my dogs. She was trying to destroy the evidence. The police find files in her house, photos of my property, records of my schedule, every complaint ever filed against her, color-coded folders. She kept a drawer just for me. When it all comes out, the whole neighborhood wakes up. Apologies start rolling in banana bread on my doorstep, even invitations to join the new board, which I politely decline. Once is enough. Emily gets her day in court. The judge gives her probation, restitution, a restraining order, and 400 hours of community service at the county animal shelter of all places. Her husband files for divorce, says she's finally getting counseling. I even get a letter from her. Not asking forgiveness, just trying to explain herself, saying she lost control after her mother died, that the HOA was her way of making sense of chaos. It would be easy to hate her. But the truth is, Emily wasn't a monster, just broken and scared and desperate to feel powerful in a world she couldn't control. The lesson hit me hard. Sometimes the people who hurt you the most are fighting battles you'll never see. That doesn't excuse them, but maybe it explains why they fight so dirty. The neighborhood changes. The HOA becomes a little less dictatorial, a little more human. My dogs get a dog park named after them. Seriously, Nova even makes the local news. Neighbors start looking out for each other, not just looking for violations. One day I get another letter from Emily, written from the shelter. She says the dogs there wag their tails even after all they've been through. She writes, "I realized I spent years barking at shadows. Your dog saved me from myself. I sit on my porch, the sunset glowing through the trees, Rex curled at my feet. I'm not sure if I forgive her, but maybe I understand her a little better." In the end, justice didn't look like revenge. It looked like accountability, honesty, and a little bit of hope that people can change if you let them face the truth. Peace returns, but I keep my cameras up and I keep my guard up. Because there's always someone somewhere who thinks they're above the rules. So here's my question for you. When does protecting your home become fighting a war? Where's the line between standing your ground and becoming the bully? Is justice just punishment, or can it be restoration? If you've ever tangled with a control freak, HOA boss, neighbor, you name it, tell me your story in the comments. And if you believe standing up for what's right matters, stick around for more tales of karma, courage, and a whole lot of canine justice.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.